Good morning. Tuesday, Parshas Shemos, Daf Yomi, Brochos, Daf Aleph. And we're starting Bez Shems Baruch with the Mishnah at the end of Daf Yud Amid Beis. Although we did learn it, we're doing it since the Gemara will refer to this Mishnah. Says the Heilige Mishnah, B'Shama Yoimrim, Be'erev Kol Odom Yata V'Yikre U'V'Bikir Yamid. How should a person situate himself while reciting the Shema? So the B'Shama say one should recite the Shema in the position of lying down, in the evening lying down, in the morning standing up. Why? Shenemar, as the pasuk states, U'Shach B'cha U'Kumecha, lying down and standing up. U'Shach B'cha, lying down. U'Kumecha, when you go standing up. B'Sil say, Kol Odom Kiryu Kedarkei. A person should recite the Shema just like he is, in whatever situation he is. He's standing, you can stand. You sit, you can sit. You lie, you can lie. You walk, you can walk. Do whatever works for you. According to the Basil, why does the pasuk say B'Shach B'cha U'Kumecha? Maybe I skipped a word. So the Basil say you can do it on every way, on whichever way you are. Shenemer, as the pasuk says, and while you walk in your way. So as the Mishnah, if so, why does the pasuk also say while you lie and while you stand? As the Mishnah, it means to say, according to the Basil, in the time, in that hour, the pasuk means to say, at what time do you have to recite the Shema? The time that people go to sleep, which is at night, and the time when people get up, which is in the morning. Reb Tarfon says, Reb Tarfon, a story that happened to him. I have came in the way. I've been on the way. Vitesi, and I stopped in the middle of the way, pulled aside, and lied down. Likra is to say the Shema, I guess, of the night. K'divrei B'Shamai, as the B'Shamai say. B'sikanti ba'atzmi, I have endangered myself because of the robbers. I guess in those days, in any way, it would be dangerous to stop on the highway because it was a danger from robbers. Amru Loi, so the Chachamim answered him. So this, he was like telling this in shul. So the Chachamim answered him, Kedai hoyisa lochav ba'atzmach, you would be responsible for your life. Shavartot, since you were over, you were over on the words of the Basil. Since the Basil say that you can recite the Shema even while you go, and you don't have to lie down for that. You wanted to be machmir, like the Bishamai, when the Basil say that you don't need to. So you would be responsible for your life if you would encounter any dangers. It would be your own responsibility. Says the Gemara Bishloime Bishil. I would understand the Bishil. Bishil explained themselves. Tamayu the Vitamid Bishamai. Basil explained their own position as the Pasuk says you can recite the Shema while you're walking in the way. And they also explain, according to us, Basil, that you are allowed to learn the Kriyas Shema while you walk. How would we tie the pasuk of the Bishamai while the time of going to sleep and while the time of waking up? So they explain themselves, and they also explain how the Bishamai's pasuk will be explained according to the Basil. However, Elo Bishamai, my tamal yom Basil. Why don't? What would be the explanation for the Bishamai to explain how would the Bishamai teach the words of Lech Techa V'Derech, which is the reasoning for the Beis Hillel? Amri Lach Bishamai, the Bishamai will answer Im Kain, if will be focused on the pasuk of Lech Techa V'Derech, name Mikroba by Kirube'erev, or no, if the pshat of B'Shach K'mecho means that at an hour that people go to sleep and at an hour when people wake up, why does the pasuk say B'Shach K'mecho? Why doesn't the pasuk say B'Bikir U'Be'erev? If so, should the pasuk say in the morning and evening? Why does it mention lying down and getting up? When the pasuk talks about the time of lying down, it means you should recite the Shema in a position of you should situate yourself in a lying position. Shas kima, when you wake up, kima mamish means to just stand up. Mamish. Kima mamish. Ubis Shamai, now comes that pasuk. What would the Ubis Shamai darshan from the words of Lech Techa V'Derech? This they need the Lech Techa V'Derech because they teach it for a different braise. Okay, the Tanya, as we had learned in the Braise, you should recite the Shema when you sit at home. Prat, it excludes one who is doing a mitzvah. So while he is doing the mitzvah, he is part of learning the Shema. And going on the way, Prat, it excludes lechoson for a choson. That a chasan, I think it means in the night of his chasana, does not need to recite the Shema. From here, Chazal say, Hakoynes es absula doesn't mean every chasan. It means a chasan that marries with a basula. He marries a girl that was never married, a virgin. Hakoynes es absula potter. He is potter. Because his mind isn't there. His mind is into his chasana. His mind is into his wedding. It's into what's about to happen. But almona, if he marries an almona, I guess the simcha is not so strong. The happiness is not so strong, so therefore his mindset can be more miyushev, more stable, and therefore he has the mind to learn the Shema. And therefore, since she's not a virgin, therefore, Ves Almona Chayev, if he marries an Almona, he is obligated to recite the Shema. My mashma. Why from from would I exclude one who is into doing a mitzvah? One is oisik b'mitzvah. Omer Rav Papa says Rav Papa ki derech. I'm sorry, from Sheikh V'lech Chavaderech Pratla Chosen, excluding a Chosen. Why? Ki derech says Rav Papa ki derech, just like the way Ma derech reshus, Av kol reshus. If you go on the way, that is a permissive thing. One who has permission to go. Same is anything that's permitted. If you do any permissible thing, you are obligated to recite the Shema. However, however, if you're doing a mitzvah, you're not obligated. Doesn't it mean one who does a mitzvah, he should recite the Shema? Let's see Rashi. Rashi explains here. Milo yaskinan koloimer minolan de bederech rishus lechude aire kro hakro derech stomach siv umemelo mishtam name minei derech mitzvah va'afel chomer achmon likre. Rashi explains it means like the pasuk doesn't specify if you do something permissible. In the pasuk, it's mashma that it can talk in both ways. It can refer to someone who does a mitzvah. It can refer to someone who doesn't do a mitzvah at the time. Milo yaskin dvar mitzvah, that it's possible that he goes for dvar mitzvah as well. And still, the pasuk says that he should learn the Shema. So we still do not have a pasuk to exclude one who does a mitzvah. Imkain, if while doing a mitzvah you still have to say the Shema, lichtiv rachmana b'sheves u'beleches. Instead of v'shach b'chov kamecho, it can say while you sit, while you go. B'sheves when you sit, u'beleches when you go. What's the chaf by the end of the word? My b'shivtecha, when in your sitting, uvlechtecha in your going, means b'sheves l'dach in your sitting, uvleches l'dach in your going. B'sheves l'dach uvleches l'dach u'demechayivas. You know when you are obligated to recite the Shema, if your going and your sitting is in your own needs. The mitzvah, if you sit or you go in a mitzvah need, petiras your potter. If this is a situation, as the Gemara, so if you are koines, the almana, you're marrying a widow, nami, you should also. It's also a dvar mitzvah, and therefore you should. Why wouldn't you? Why isn't that? Isn't that excluded as well from the obligation to recite the Shema? As the Gemara, high torid v'high torid. One who marries a b'sula virgin. His mind is torrid. It's taken. His mind is just not there. Is not there by the mitzvah because it's all into the concept of marriage. One who marries an almana, his mind state is much more calm. he can have Yishuv Hadas to recite the Shema. If the reason is because of tirda, therefore a chosn is potu. Someone who, if someone had sent merchandise overseas, and he gets the yediyah, he's not being notified that his ship sunk. Nami, he should also have a ptur from reciting the Shema, since his mind cannot be there. If you want to say that's true, that's the case. That the chassan, although he's potter from Shema, he is still obligated in all other mitzvahs of the Torah. No, talking about one who lost his money, not a chassan. He is still obligated. Not aval, ovel, one who mourns his relative. So he's in pain, in deep pain. So it says ovel, one who is in ovel, chayiv, he's obligated in all mitzvahs that are said in the Torah, chutz min tefillin, except for tefillin, with an exception of tefillin shalei never ben be'ed, since the tefillin are called a pe'ed, a beauty. Shnemer pe'edcha in Yirmiyah, your beauty, your jewelry, which refers to tefillin. Chavish alecha should be put on you. Halsam torah the mitzvah. Yeah. The Chalsan is Torid, has a tirda of mitzvah. Therefore, he is potter of Kriyas Shema only, not of all mitzvahs, because his tirda is a tirda of mitzvah of marrying. Haocha by oval Torid tirda dirishus. No, opposite. Also, by the oval is a tirda the mitzvah because it's to mourn is also a mitzvah. Therefore, he's obligated in all other mitzvahs. However, a chasan is a tirda dirishus. Not sure. Why isn't both a mitzvah? I'm not sure which is considered a mitzvah, which is considered a shus. Okay, but for now we'll continue. Ubishamai ahu umiboyelei prat l'shluchi mitzvah. Now back to the Bishamai. The Bishamai who learned that you should recite the Shema when you in a position of lying and standing up. Why does it say the words means if you go in the way, if you're a shliach mitzvah, you don't have to. You're excluded from the obligation. So now the B'tzil, where do they know that shluchim mitzvah don't need to recite the Shema? That's memela. You already know that. Afilu b'derech nami kori. That even on the way, you also recite the Shema. So I guess the B'tzil learn that a shliach mitzvah should recite the Shema. Yeah. Okay. 1 second, please. So the Heilige Gemara, Tanu Rabbanon had learned Besil Loimrim, Imden Vikaiden, Yuzvin Vikaiden, Morten Vikaiden, Eilchen Vikaiden, Helchem Derech Vikaiden, Eiskin Memlachten Vikaiden. Besil say one can recite the Shema in any position. Imden Vikaiden, he can stand and lane, in Yuzvin he sit Vikaiden and recite the Shema. Morten lie down v'koden and learn the Shema. Heulchen walk in the way v'derech v'koden. Oiskin Mamlacht, and he does his work v'koden. Umasa, there was a story, but Rabbi Shmuel, but Rabbi Lozer and Azari showing sitting b'mokem echad. Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Lozer and Azari were eating somewhere together. Rabbi Shmuel moite. And it came the time to recite the Shema. Rabbi Shmuel lied down, Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah, Zakaf Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah stood up. Rabbi Shmuel was lying, and Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah stood. When it arrived, the Zman Kriyas Shema, he told Rabbi Lozer lied down. Rabbi Shmuel stood up. Omar loy Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah Rabbi Shmuel asks Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah to Rabbi Shmuel, Yishmoel Ochi, Yishmoel my brother. Emshel lach moshel, I will tell you this parable. What it looks like. Moshel, it's a parable. One who is being told, your beard, migudel, is very big, grew big. You have a nice big beard. Amalaham, he responded, it should be like, be it in the face of those who shave. Afkach, same here. Ato, you, who talks to who? Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah to Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel first was lying down and then stood up. Rabbi Lozer ben Azariah was standing in the beginning and lied down. So he lied down in order to recite the Shema like the Bishamai. And Rabbi Shmuel stood up. So he says, just like the parable that I just said, Afkach, same here, Ato, you, Rabbi Shmuel, that stood up, Kozman Shani Zakev, as long as I stood, Ato Moita, you were leaning. Achshav, now, Shani Hitezi, I leaned or lied down, Ato Zakafta, you stood up. Amalai, said Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Shmuel responds to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Ani Yossi Kedivri Basil. I did like the Divri Basil that you can lay in any position. So I stood up to make a point that the halacha is like the Basil. Va'atos, he said, you did Kedivri B'Shamai, like the B'Shamai, and the halacha is not like the B'Shamai. The halacha is like the Basil. That's not enough. Elo Shema Yiru Atalmidim Yikvu Halacha L'Deiros. There are around here the students, meaning I'm not sure if it means Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah students or Rabbi Shmuel's students, Talmidim, and if they'll see that we both recite the Shema in a lying position, leaning, they will be keiveya for all generations that the halacha is like the B'Shamai, that you recite the Shema leaning or lying down. In order for them not to take the position that is the halacha, therefore I stood up. My velo yoid, what does he mean by velo yoid, that that's not enough? That I, right? He said I did like the Bishil, and then he said that's not enough, but the Talmidim should not be kivei da halacha like the B'Shamai. So what wasn't there enough in what he said first that I did like the Bishil? My velo yoid. If you want to say Basil, if you want to respond like the Basil, Name is Luhumotin. If you want to say that the Basil also hold that you can lie down, Hanimili, that can be said the motive also mikor. That would be good if you, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that you sat down or leaned down or lie down now when it came to time to recite the Shema. If you want to say the Basil agree that you are allowed to lie down, that would be only as long as in the situation of me, Rabbi Shmuel, that I was lying before. However, in your case, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that you lied down specifically to laying the Shema like the B'Shamai, that is not permissible according to the Basil. According to the Basil, you have to stand, or you should stand. But although the Basil would be okay if you are in a lying position, but not that you should lie down specifically for this. They also consider to be a good Shema if you are in a leaning position. If you were lying anyway, from to begin with. However, here, even the since till now you were standing, and now you lie down. I'm not sure. Maybe the point is not that by lying down, the Bissel do not agree. I think that's not the point. I think the point is, if you would have be leaning before, you would say, okay, the Basil are okay with it. It's not a problem. But now, since you were standing before, now you're lying down. You can't say that, yeah, the Basil are also good with that. Because you made a point to lie down. In other words, you made a point that you're doing like the B'Shamai. If you were standing and now you lie down, Omri. Now everyone will know that everyone will realize that you hold like the B'Shamai. Now there is to be chayshish that we have to be taking consideration that the Talmidim will see and they will permanently be kivei da halacha for all generations would be like the B'Shamai. Learns Rabbi Cheskel also B'Shamai also If you did like the Bishamai, it's okay, you did good. Also, could do the Basil. Also, if you did like the Basil and you didn't recite the Shema while walking, it's also good. Also, Yosef Amar Yosef says, also could do the Bishama, Yosef Liklum. If you did like the Bishama, you did nothing. What does that mean? You did nothing. It's worthless. Interesting. Now, as we learned, me by in Hilchis Sikke, in Masechta Sikke, one who his head and most of his body was in the sukkah. Shulchan and his table was b'teichabayis in the house. B'shamay poislin b'sil machshin. So there's the machlokes between the b'shamay and b'sil of how much of the person has to be in the sukkah. B'shamay learn. Now the sheer, the minimum of how big a sukkah would be is 7 tvachim, so that a person fits in the sukkah with his head, most of his body, and the table. So what is if the table is not in the sukkah, but his head and most of his body is? The Shammai learn that is considered to be possible, meaning not going to the mitzvah of sukkah. Still, machshir and are okay with it. The Basil says the Bishal mitu the Basil. Master, there was a story. The elders of the Bishamai and the elders of the Basil went together to visit Rabbi Yochanan ben Hachiranis. Mitzauhu, they found him, and it wasn't Yom Tov Zikas. They found him in a position that his head and most of his body was in the sukkah, and his table was in the house. And they didn't tell him anything. Meaning that the Basil were okay with it. I mean, the Shammai were okay with it. So what do we see from there? So just like the Gemara means to say, Rashi explains, just like in the case of Sukkah, according to the base, right, the Shammai are personal. The Shammai learned that to do like Vasil is not good. Same here in the halachos of Shema. It's also they even according to the Basil, doing like the Shammai is not good, and according to the Shammai, doing like the Basil is no good. Omer lehem, Omer lehem. Who to who? Again, Tony Rav Cheskel. Also, Kedivri B'Shamai, also. Kedivri B'Sil, also. Rabbi Yosef Omer, also Kedivri B'Shamai, Lo Yosef L'Klum. He didn't do anything. It's not considered to be done something. Omer Ulahem is a Lashon Rabim. So you can't say it's Rabbi Yosef to Rabbi Cheskel because that's singular. Omer Ulahem is a Lashon, is a plural, it looks like plural. Okay, he answered. Mishamar Ayah, from there, you bring it ayah. Afhem Amru Loi, even over there, the Chachamim responded to Rabbi Yochanan ben Chananis. The Chachamim, meaning B'Shamai and B'Hillel, responded to what they saw by Rabbi Yochanan ben Chananis. If this is how you used to do all your years, like Yamta mitzvah sikim imecha, you never were mekayim the mitzvahs of Sukkah. I don't understand the comparison from this to Hilchos Kriyas Shema. No, I don't understand. Please explain me. Okay, says the Gemara weiter. Nach Mitzchak Omer, also Kedivri B'Shamai, Chayiv Mise. Nach Mitzchak says if someone does like the B'Shamai, wow, he's responsible for his life. He's Chayiv Mise. Wow. Now, as we see in the Mishnah Taka, the Tarfim says, I had came in the way, and I lied down, likres to recite the Shema. Shama, I like the Shama say, Skanti about me, and I have endangered myself with the listening because of robbers. And they responded, you would to be responsible on your life because you were over on the Bisil. Says the Mishnah. Next Mishnah will talk about the halachas of the Brochos. Every mitzvah we do, we make a bracha before doing the mitzvah. What is the bracha for reciting the Shema? So, B'Shachar, in the morning, we recite, we make the brachas, two brachas before the Kriyas Shema, Bachas Lachreo, and one after. Right? We know in the morning we say Yitzir and the Hava Soilam. Those two is before Kriyas Shema. And the V'yatziv, which finishes Baruch Hashem Gal Yisrael, that is after Be'erev. And in the evening, you make the brachas Shtayim Lefnei, two beforehand, Shtayim Lachreo, and two after. The two before is Asher B'dvarim Ha'arev Arovim and the Hava Soilam. The two after is the Emunah, which finishes in Gal Yisrael and Hashkivenu. One long one and one short one. The long one is the one that's in the morning v'yatzav, and at night is the Emunah. Not sure. Maybe opposite. Yes. Rashi explains it refers to the Shtayim La'achreo of at night. So one of them is long, that's the Emunah Kol Zeis, and one is a short one, which is Hashkivenu. Mokim Shomru L'Harich and Rishoy L'Katzer, a place where Chazal say that it should be long, you're not allowed to shorten. L'Katzer, where Chazal say you should do it short, you're not allowed to make it longer. Lachsoim, where Chazal say to put a chasima, and chasima would mean that it finishes off with Baruch Hashem such and such as Gal Yisrael or Shemiram Yisrael. You're not allowed to leave it off without a chasima. Shaloi lachsim, where Chazal say to finish it off without a chasima, you're not allowed to put a chasima. You have to do exactly what Chazal say. Zog the Gemara, my mevorich. What brochos should he say? Because we only said in the Mishnah how many brochos. The Mishnah didn't say which brochos. My mevorich, Rabbi Yankiv, Rabbi Oishia says Rabbi Yankiv in the name of Rabbi Oishia. Yoitzer oir in the morning. Yoitzer oir oir choshech. And we know that bracha. Yoitzer oir oir choshech shalom v'risakil. V'leimo as the Gemara. V'leimo yoitzer oir oir noiga. He created oir and created noiga. Noiga refers to light. Why? Or dim. Why? Choshech, which is dark. Kidchsiv. Oh, as the pasuk says, take the word noiga instead of choshech. No, I'm sorry. It should say noiga, which is dim, not dark. As the Gemara Kidchsiv Kamrin, we say it as the pasuk said. Pasuk says, Yoitzer oir uvoire choshech. Where's the pasuk? It's a pasuk in maybe Yirmiyah? No, Yeshayahu Memhei. Okay. Elo, asking about a miyata. You say shalom uvoire. As hakoil. That we say, and we don't say in the pasuk says, do we say as it says in the pasuk? And here's the bach, right? The bach here's in the Gemara it says, do we say as the pasuk says? Because the pasuk says, the Bach's version would be that we say in the bracha and it creates everything. Why don't we say as the pasuk says, as the Gemara? Why it says ra and we say hakoil everything because it's a nicer expression. We should say noiga because it's a nicer version. It's a nicer expression, and therefore why should we say although it says in the pasuk choshech, but noiga is a nicer expression. If at the end of the bracha you say you put whatever is nicer. Why in the beginning of the bracha you shouldn't put something that's nicer? Elo marova says Rava kedei lahaskir. We want to express midas yom belayla, the midah of day at night, midas layla, and the midah of day of night beyom in the day. Therefore, in daytime we say yitzirayru v'yirechoshech. So we also talk about night, and at night we also say okay, the Gemara will say what we'll say at night. Okay, so we have midas laila bayom. We talk about night or even a day. Where at night do we mention day? Abaye says Abaye in the first bracha of the Krishma of night we say that Hashem rolls away, puts aside the day, the light of day, because for the darkness that comes at night, and he rolls away the darkness for the light when it's in the morning. So that's when we mention oir, which is light, daytime schedule at night. Beidach, mahi. What's the second bracha of the Kriyas Shema at day, and also at night? Rav Yehuda Bar Shmuel, a day. Avarab, the bracha of Avarab. That's the second bracha of Kriyas Shema. This is also how Reb Lozer taught Reb Pedos, his son. That the second bracha is Avarab Tani Amachi. We have also learned so. You don't say Avas Olam, an everlasting love, but you say Avarab, a very great love. The Rabbanan say no. You say Avas Olam, an everlasting love. That they loved us. As the pasuk says, I think this is in Yeremiah. Let's see, maybe not. Yeremiah Olam Aleph. Merochik Hashem neru li v'avas olam ahavti chalkem shachti choset. V'avas olam ahavti chalkem shachti choset. An everlasting love. I have loved you, says the Eibishter. Therefore, I have anointed you with kindness. Omer Rabbi Yehuda Shmuel says, Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Shmuel, Hishkim lishneis out if someone gets up in the morning to learn Torah. Actually, Kara Krishma before reciting the Shema Tzarech Levorich, he still has to say these brachas. However, Misha Kara Kriyas Shema after he recited the Shema with the brachas. He doesn't have to say any more Birchas HaTorah for his learning. Why? Since he pattered already. The bracha of Birchas HaTorah by saying Avarabba is talking about Limedat Torah, but learning Torah. So it's already a bracha, not only on a bracha for Kriyas Shema, but it's also a bracha for Limedat Torah, for learning Torah. Says Ravina that one who wants to learn Pasuk needs to make a bracha. Medrash, who wants to learn Medrash, he does not need to make a bracha, meaning Birchas HaTorah. Reb Lozer says Lemikra v'Lemidrash Torah Levorich, both for learning Mikra Pasuk and to learn Midrash the Drash of Chazal. Torah Levorich, he still needs to make a bracha. LeMishnah in Torah Levorich, if you want to learn Mishnah, you don't need to make a bracha. Why? I don't know. But Rabbi Yechanan says, after Mishnah, Name Tzorach Levorich, even for Mishnah, you also have to make a bracha. Aval Talmud and Tzorach Levorich for learning Gemara. You don't need to say Birchas HaTorah. Rava says, Aval Talmud Tzorach Levorich, even for Gemara, you also have to say Birchas HaTorah, and the Gemara here adds the words Lachzeh Levorich because it's probably talks about after davening, after reciting the Shema. So you already said the bracha of Avarabba. Still says the Gemara, you have to say Birchas HaTorah. Says Reb Chia bar Ashi, once upon a time, I have stood for Rav Latanuya to learn Mishnah, Latani Perkin to learn our Pedig, Bisafro de Veirav, in Safro de Veirav, which is a Midrash. Have a Magdim, Bekumosh Yodei. He stood up and washed his hands. And the bracha umasne long Perkin, and then he taught us the Pedig. What is the bracha that you say before learning Torah? Rav Yehuda says Rav Yehuda in the name of Shmuel, that Hashem sanctified us with His mitzvahs and commanded us to learn to make our business to learn his Torah. Rabbi Yochanan would finish the Birchas HaTorah with these words, within Harev Hashem Elokeinu, please Hashem, sweeten us, as the words of your Torah befinu in our mouths, and in the mouths of Amcha, your nation, Beis Yisrael, the Yiddish Kinder, the house of Israel. And it should be Anachnu also Tzedzoinu in our descendants, offsprings and the offsprings of Amcha Beis Yisrael, the nation of the house of Israel. We should all be Kulanu, all of us, knowing your name, and having our business in your Torah. Baruch Hashem, blessed are you in the Eibishter that you teach Torah, the Torah Am Yisrael for his nation, the Jews. Rav Hamnuna says to make the bracha on learning Torah, Asher Bo Charbonu, that you have chosen in us Mikol Amim from all nations, and gave us as Torah also is Torah. Baruch Atu Hashem, blessed are you, the Eibishter Noisna Torah that gives the Torah. Omer Rav Hamnuna Zuhi Mu'ula Shebe Brochos, says Rav Hamnuna, this is the best of the Brochos. Hilkich, therefore, we should say all of them. All three versions that the Gemara just mentioned, we all taka say it till today's day. Tanan zog the Heilige Gemara, Tanan Hossam, we have learned over there in a Braise, Omele Mamune Baruchu Brocha Achas. Then the Beis Hamikdash, the Memuna, the one in charge, said called out that the Yidden in the Beis Hamikdash, they should make a bracha, should say the bracha for the Eibishter about before in davening, and they did so. When they recited they learned the Aseres HaDibros, the Ten Commandments, Shema, V'Oyom Shemoya, V'Yomer, U'Baruchu Esu'am, Gimel Brochos, and they blessed the nation. Gimel Brochos, 3 Brochos. Baruchu Esu'am, they blessed the nation. No, it's okay. Rashi says Imam, with the nation. They blessed the Eibishter together with all the people. These 3 Brochos, which one? Emes V'Yatziv, which is the after bracha for the Shema in the morning. Va'avoider, that's Ritzei, U'Birchas Kehanim. B'Shabbos Mesifim Bracha Achas, and Shabbos they would add another bracha, L'Mishmar Hayoytze, for the Mishmar that's going out. For every Shabbos, that's the changing time of the shifts in Beis Hamikdash. One Mishmar of Kehanim leaves, the new Mishmar of the Kehanim comes in, and the old Mishmar of last week leaves. So they say a bracha also for the Mishmar Hayoytze that's leaving the service in the Beis Hamikdash. My bracha achas. What is that one bracha? Kiha, as we have the Reb Abba, Reb Yosef bar Abba, Reb Abba and Reb Yosef the son of Reb Abba. Iklu met lahu aseret to that place, to a certain place. Boy when they minayu. Then they were asked, "My brocha achas, what does it mean, brocha achas, in the Beis Hamikdash that we just said?" Say one bracha. What kind of a bracha is that? They did not know. And they came shailuhu, and they asked, "Lerav Masna." And he also didn't have the information in his hands. Also, they came shailuhu, they asked, "Lerav Yehuda." Amaluhu, says Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, Amar Shmuel, this is what Shmuel said, Ahava Rabba. The bracha achas, the one bracha would be Ahava Rabba. Amar B'Zriki, Amar Rabbi, he says Rabbi Ziki in the name of Rabbi Ami, Amar B'Shum ben Lakish, Yoytzer Oir. Kios Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef, and Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef came, Amar, he said, how did Rav Zriki, this what Rav Zriki says, that in the name of Rav Shimon Lakish that it refers to Yitzirayir, Lava Feresh Yitmer, Elo Miklol Yitmer. He didn't say that directly, but we learned it from what happened. The Amar Rav Zrika, Amar Rav Ami, Amar Rav Shimon Lakish says Rav Zrika in the name of Rav Ami, in the name of Rav Shimon Lakish, so he said Meres, in Brochos, in Ma'ak V'zu Azu. After the story, when they said only the one bracha, Rav Ziki, Rav Ami, Rav Shimon Lakish said, so it means that if you say one bracha without the other, you're yotze. If you say that it refers to the bracha of Yitzirah, the bracha say Ma'ak V'zu. And you say that they're not ma'akiv one the other, like Amre because they didn't say Avarab, and it's not ma'akiv. Eli Amre is Avarab, Amri. My bracha say ma'akiv V'zu Dilma. Haidli Amre Yitzirah. Mishum Dleimat is man Yitzirah. Vichimot is man Yitzirah. Have Amre. If it would mean one bracha, the bracha of Ahavas Olam, maybe they said bracha achas, which is Ahavas Olam, first, because you wake up in the morning, you want to learn Torah, but it's not morning yet, so you cannot say Yitzirah that Hashem created the light, because it's not light outside. However, if you do the opposite way, you say bracha achas would refer to Yitzirah, and it's not ma'akiv, not saying Ahavah, that makes sense. So that's just from the general story. He learns it out. But no one taught that directly. So what's the problem of deriving the halacha from a general idea and without having him directly said that this is the halacha? The imiklala, if it's just from the generalization, maybe they taka said Avarabba. And when it will come day, they'll say the bracha Yitzirah. My bracha say Ma'akiv, say Zu, say the brachas. In other words, it can be answered. Okay, we understand that if it would be Avarabba, and it's not there yet, maybe he'll say it later. And therefore, it doesn't have to be that the halacha is that what the story was in Beis Hamikdash, that they said one bracha taka is only that way. You can think differently, and what would it mean that the brachas are not ma'akiv? It wouldn't mean they're not ma'akiv. Really, it would mean that they're not ma'akiv if they're not on the seder, because later on they'll still say Yitzirah. Kol tov. Have a great and happy day.